Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Dear Vaishnavas, disciples, followers, simply well-wishers, I wanted to share with you today something very important for me, something very intimate for me. Probably many of you know that within the last many years I have been engaged in the education, and most of it is the education of the Vaishnavas. In 1994, when I just got back from Sweden, where I has been sent as a special messenger to improve the social connections or to set up the social connections of the Society of Krishna Consciousness with the Russian society, which at that moment was quite aggressively set up against. And then I realized at that moment that it's not about connecting, establishing the connections, but to actually bring up the Vaishnavas, because against them everybody judges about our society. And then ever since from 1994 I more and more was moving my focus into the internal education, and then we started publishing some informational bulletins, and we were speaking about the jargon of the Vaishnavas, which was an obstacle for the outside people to understand us. And then little by little all these ideas, they kind of crystallized into in 1999 first time I did deliver the course of Bhakti Shastra. Well, first of all, first time for myself, of course, because before me they were existing, and then a few times I have repeated that course, not in the and in the full format. I only did once, where I spoke about full Bhagavad Gita in 1999, and then after that another era started of various Bhakti Shastras. And then I tried myself in this quality, and still some unsatisfaction left, because still this education doesn't really touch some deep layers of the human. Still many things they remain on the surface. And then later the festivals have started, which also kind of appeared as the attempt as educational context. That was the first festival, and so on and so forth. And then at some point School of Japa Meditation appeared, and then big Vedic practicum, and then School of Bhakti, and now we have a program Sindhu going on, and then also educational ashram of Bhaktivedanta in Yurlava ashram. All these various on the first side not even connected with each other projects, like School of Bhagavatam as well, one of other example. On top of that, Shlokamrita project, and then the educational platform, which most of my disciples attended. So one way or the other, most of these projects are connected between each other with one internal idea that I have, the idea of transformation, the idea of transforming the person, the idea that the education shouldn't be something external in regard to us, that Shastra should become our blood, our flesh, and our prana. That what we breathe with, that we live with, what through which the prism of which we look at, see this world, and the culmination of all of these to different degree successful projects, educational projects. Some of them are very popular and gather around them literally hundreds and thousands of people. The other ones are still remain in more like in the shadow, which are known only to the limited number of people. But nevertheless, all of these projects have been influenced by this idea, and the culmination of all these projects, by the mercy of Krishna, manifested this project, Shri Rupa Seva Kunj, about which majority of you have heard. One way or the other, Krishna in 2017 brought me to Govardhan. I never thought that I would find shelter at Govardhan. However, sometimes by inertia, I was repeating the verse from the famous Dashaka, Govardhana Vasa, Prarthana, Dashaka, Raghunadas Goswami, Dehi Nikata, Dehi Nikata Nivasa, Dehi Govardhana Tvam. Oh Govardhan, give me the possibility to live next to you. But I never had these ambitions, never I thought myself qualified, but one way or the other it happened that I ended up in this place. It ended up that little by little this small community started forming there, and at some point we've got this piece of land there. And little by little on that piece of land this project started taking shape. And then later afterwards, while thinking about this, I realized that this project is the realization of the idea of Srila Prabhupada about the fact where we could build the place where devotees could feel themselves home, and where devotees could always get in touch with the Krishna Leelas. It's one of the 7 goals that are written in the chart of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And then little by little this project is coming up. Srila Shiva Maharaj is doing something similar in Hungary with a very huge success. In Mayapur, the whole town, the whole city is growing up according to the Srila Prabhupada's idea. And in, near Mumbai we have this Govardhanico village, which is inspired by Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanand Maharaj, and so on and so on. Many similar projects, but it just turned out in our case that this project really is located at the footsteps of Govardhan, just a few hundred meters from the Parikram mark. And the idea of this project again is the same, to transform, not about academic education, not about how many shlokas that we learn by heart, not about getting the best grade when passing our Shastra exam, but an attempt to help people to transform with the help of Shastra in its depth of the culture of Raj, and of course Govardhan is the center of all the Raj and all the culture of Raj. And what is the culture of Raj? This is the culture of love. Shastra is just the external layer or external way to manifest this, to transmit this love. And so we are building this project, and we are building it for all the Vaishnavas, for anyone who would like to come to Govardhan and feel himself at home. And to feel yourself at home at Govardhan means to find some of your service, to find this place across millions and billions and trillions of souls who serve Krishna there in Raj at Govardhan, and everyone has his own unique place, and many temples around Govardhan give this opportunity to everyone to find his own place, to find his own distance and his own personal private service in this spiritual world. And one of them is our modest project, Shri Rupa Seva Kunj, where we want to invite everyone, to keep inviting everyone already invited. Even before the official opening, we invited. But the news or that I wanted to share with you is that on February 20th, 2026, time flies very fast. It is scheduled the installation of the deity Shri Radha Govinda at Shri Rupa Seva Kunj, because Shri Rupa Seva Kunj basically is located almost at the bank of Govinda Kund, and it is named after Srila Rupa Goswami, whose deities Radha Govinda are at the moment in Jaipur. And then we are planning to install these deities on the 20th of February at Shri Rupa Seva Kunj. And this date has been also selected in accordance to the special principles of divine Panchanga, not the regular Panchanga which regular people are using in their everyday life. We wanted to kind of adjust to the date close to Gaura Purnima or something, but people who follow this, who know all these things, they said that the auspicious day at the end of February, beginning of March, is only one, which is the 20th of February, and therefore, according to that, we have set this date. And this date is not just the installation of Shri Radha Govinda, but is also the date of like, it's like a festival, like a big festival of all the educational projects whenever have been started by your humble servant and his many helpers, assistants, so that everyone would come there, listen to each other, see each other, would be happy for each other and learn from each other of something. And we want to make a really huge festival, like a review or overview of what we are doing for the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, the society that has been designed by Srila Prabhupada. In no way we want to contradict ourselves, because we are just a part of this huge project of the society which has been created by Srila Prabhupada, but with our own kind of outlook, our own ideas. And I wanted to invite everyone of you who would like to come to this festival to participate in it. And then, of course, the spots are limited. We are not talking about thousands of people, but if at least a few hundreds of people, especially the key people who are taking part in our projects, would come, that would give a huge pleasure. to everyone, all the Vaishnavas, and to me as well, of course, and I'm pretty sure that to Shri Radha Govinda as well. And Shri Radha Govinda are being installed as the deities of Sri Rupa Goswami, as the replica of his deities, as kind of the continuation of his idea of the divine love, and we want very much that, especially from those who will come to this festival, to this event, but not only, but in general, anyone who would like to, one way or the other, would like to come to Vraj, would feel this special connection with Radha Govinda, and so that everyone would find his own place in the service to them. And of course, it's clear that in ISKCON there are so many deities, and first of all, we have to serve our own deities at the spots, like Shri Radha Govinda in Omsk, or Shri Radha Shyamasundar in Hungary, or Shri Radha Shyamasundar in Vrindavan, or Shri Dayal Sachasuta in Jagannath Baldev Subhadra in Moscow, and these are our main deities, no doubt about it. We are not trying to do something special here, but if at the same time just a little piece of your heart will remain there at the banks of Govinda Kund near Govardhan, where we are trying to install Radha Govinda, and I'm sure that that will also expand the fame of our International Society of Krishna Consciousness, because at the end of the day, Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan to invite everyone to Vrindavan, and his last desire was to circumambulate Govardhan and to find the shelter at the footsteps of Govardhan. Nija Nikata Nivas Dehi Govardhan Tvam. So this is just a small announcement. Organizers will try to serve to everyone who would come to this festival. And yes, there is some festival fee, but if some of you cannot afford that, this is not a problem. Most important is if you are really devoted to this idea of transformation through the education, through getting connected with Shastra, through being in the Holy Dham, through associating with Sadhu. This is basically the small invitation, and if you have an opportunity, then please to spend a few days at the end of February next year to take part in this overview of various educational projects, and in that once we see each other, to learn from each other and do something even better what we are already doing, in order to ISKCON would become stronger, purer, and better, and so that at the end of the day Srila Prabhupada will be happy by us, and Krishna will give us the shelter at the Govardhan. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.